Hello. How is everyone? I cannot see who just came in here, but hello. If you can hear me, leave a comment so I can see if your comment will show up. Goodness, Instagram is starting to act just like Facebook. And sometimes you can see people, sometimes you can't. But the topic for today, thank you for joining, is stand your ground. Stand your ground. Mean what you say. Stick to your standards. Okay? And I really wanted to cover this topic today because when you meet someone that you like, most of your standards fly completely out the window. Because although you say this is what you want, what most women actually want is not necessarily the respect and the admiration and the security. They just want the man. They want to get the guy. And once they get the guy, it's like all bets are off. Like, I don't have to work to maintain my looks. I don't have to keep up any of my hobbies and do any of the things that I was doing before to maintain the relationship, maintain myself. And it's like, ultimately, I honestly don't believe in what they call keeping a man. I feel like you keep a man by keeping yourself, staying focused on you so that he can be focused on you as well, okay? So the first rule I'll give to standing your ground is saying I'm going live again. OMG. Okay, so the first rule that I give for standing your ground is dropping hints, right? So sometimes women are just afraid of rejection, which you shouldn't be. If you look good and you chose the right person, you won't have to beg for anything that you want. They will give it to you. If you have a man who wants you to be just slightly more aggressive, there's nothing wrong with that, but you never flat out just ask for anything that you want. You always want to be seductive and drop hints and, tell him what you like in a different way. So for instance, I'd say something like, oh my goodness, this dress is so pretty. Babe, could you see me in this? And I'll show it to him and make it something that he would like. Ask him what his favorite color is. When you want something new, get more than one. Get one in his favorite color and one in your favorite color. And I say this is a way to stand your ground because instead of you becoming upset and just giving up completely, you need to find a way for you to stand firm. Hey Stallion, hey Kim. You have to find a way for you to stand firm in what you want and make sure that you drop hints to continuously get what you want, okay? The second thing, the topic is stand your ground. Be assertive, okay? So don't just allow men to do whatever they want to do. I understand men have this macho sense about them. They have a superiority complex, but all you have to do is prioritize yourself. I'm not asking you to be a bully. I'm not telling you, to be sassy with him, but prioritize yourself. If he's trying to get you to go out and he's like, oh, you've been asking to go out on this date, well, let's go then. And he's trying to make you get dressed at the last minute and go somewhere you don't want to go, don't go. Don't go. Babe, actually, I know you really like to watch the game on Sunday, so I was thinking maybe earlier in the daytime, maybe in the afternoon, and this is the restaurant I really want to go to. I heard they have great food. My best friend's husband took her and he loved it. I think you would like it too, you know? But always to make it where you get what you want, but he thinks that it's his idea, or you get what you want and you don't allow him to push you away from your desires by his behavior. Sometimes when men get upset, some women get afraid, or some women shut down completely and they're like, okay, you know, whatever. You get angry, but getting angry doesn't get you what you want, babe. Even if I get what I want and he has an attitude, I don't care about his attitude. I got what I want. So you have to stay focused on the prize and take your emotions completely out of it. That's just law, all right? So drop hints, be assertive. The next thing is mean what you say. That's how you stand your ground with a man. So if you tell him, if you're bluffing and you tell him, okay, well, if you do that, we're over, you have to be over if he does that. Let me tell you why. When you say something to a man that you don't mean and you don't stick by it, he is not going to take you seriously. Your words will become like vapors to him, you know, like they're here, then they're gone. They don't really have any substance. They don't mean anything. You know, like vapors, they're weightless. They don't hold any weight with him, right? So in order for a man to take you seriously, you have to mean what you say. Don't go around making these blanket statements or just talking out of anger, because whatever you say, you have to stand up in it, okay? There are even men who will mock you. Oh, I thought you said you were going to leave me. You're not going nowhere. And you can't be that woman. You have to be the woman that's not afraid to walk away. Women who are afraid to walk away get ran over each and every time. You will be disrespected more often than not, and it's going to get to the point where he's no longer concerned with pleasing you, making sure you have what you need, or anything of that nature, because why should he? You're not going anywhere. You don't care. And most of the time, women will spend their time not getting what they want, being unfulfilled, but they spend so long in that position that it causes them to not want to leave. You're like, I've invested so much. Well, yeah, you've invested time, but what has he invested? Because to be completely honest with you, time doesn't mean much to men. A lot of men feel like they have time to waste, right? Men do not age the same as we do. They do not have a biological clock, which is why we can still have sugar daddies. We can have men in their 70s and 80s who spend money on us, take us on these lavish vacations, pay our bills, because they're men. They can do whatever they want. But you don't see too many 80-year-olds out here on the woman's side living their best life and getting spoiled by men who are 95 and 100. You just don't see it, okay? So you want to make sure that your bag is secured and that you're getting what you want. Hey, Pebbles. How are you? So the topic right now is stand your ground. And I felt like this was really, really important. I know there are a number of women who are just afraid to ruffle feathers, especially when you meet a high value man. You feel like, okay, well, if I do this, I'm going to lose him. If I, hey, Jewel, if I don't give him what he wants, appease him, or if I say that I don't want to do this, then he won't want me. But to be completely honest with you, a high value man is more likely to get rid of you if you don't stand for anything. Like if he can just run over you, he already knows other men can do the exact same thing. So how you act in one relationship is how a man is going to assume you behave in every relationship. Which is why I tell you ladies to be very selective about the things that you share with men. Because as soon as you say, oh yes, I've been cheated on, you know, my ex didn't treat me right, he was abusive, he did this, he did that, they're taking that as, oh my goodness, like, oh, she really went through that, I can put her through the same thing. And sometimes it doesn't make them look at you that way. Sometimes they look at themselves and become like, okay, well, if she's attracted to these dirtbags, why is she attracted to me? Hey, Monique. See, this is so weird because it's like people are coming in and then people are leaving, and then it'll show me that people are here when they're not here. And I'm so confused. Some comments I can see, some comments I can't, but it is what it is. It's acting like Facebook Live right now. But yes, so you want to make sure that you set yourself apart. I'm never afraid to tell a man no or to stand my ground. As a matter of fact, there was a woman not too long ago who commented on a video, a hypergamous video actually. And she was basically saying that a guy, a high value man, invited her over to his place for drinks, and he tried to sleep with her and she didn't do it. And when she left, he cashapped her some money. He gave her like $500 or something, right? Because she was high value. She set herself apart. Some women, they look at a man with money and they're like, oh, he has money, and just give it up, or, you know, let the man do and say whatever he wants to, when he hasn't proven anything to you. Like, how do you know he actually possesses this money that he's talking about? He could be playing you. Hey. And hey, Trina. And hey, darling. So it's like, you have no idea what this person is capable of and what they actually have. And I've always felt like, I'm sorry, that was, my phone's dying soon, but you know, we have like a long time. It's on 20%. So yeah, men don't like women who don't stand for anything. Can't be afraid to say no. Can't be afraid to stand your ground. Can't be afraid to be who you are, be a lady, because that's when men respect you. That will set you apart. And as I was saying before this thing got interrupted, I've had friends who were like, oh yeah, he looked like he got money, he this and he's that. But I've always dated men with money, you know, men who could provide. And I always felt like if he's not spending the money on me, then he doesn't have it. Like, some people are like, oh, there are some wealthy men who are just stingy. Okay, then he doesn't have it. If you're not getting it, he doesn't have it. Move on. Okay, I look at a stingy man as just any other dusty, because most dusties are stingy. They literally feel like, if I give her this money, I'm not going to get it back. And that's why dusties freak out when you make them give you money, when you finesse them, or when you pressure them like, oh, this is really what I want this, I want that, I want that, and he just doesn't have it. Like, don't force a dusty into anything. I'm telling you, it will blow all the way up in your face. Right, exactly. Stingy is a no-go. Right. Ew. Like, I don't even, first of all, men are supposed to be generous. So if he's not generous towards you, just imagine, what if you were having his baby, you know? Like, I always think of, what if I'm pregnant, like, and I was pregnant by this man or married to this man? How would I be eating? You know, like, what would my life be like if I was with this person? You have to think about it that way. And I always resort to worst case scenario, pregnancy, because I'm like, just imagine if you were pregnant by him, because that's what we want as women. I don't know too many women who don't want to have children. You know, maybe some of you don't, I don't know, but I definitely want some babies eventually. So I have to date a man who is a provider and who's a protector, because I need someone to provide for myself and a family. And I always prepare that way. And any man I see who I can't respect his character, he doesn't have enough money, he's not on top of his game, he's just not respectable, I refuse to entertain you. I won't even sleep with a man like that. And, you know, some people have this mentality like, oh, well, he's not good enough for me to be in a relationship with, or he's not good enough to marry, but I can have sex with him. Babe. No. Sex comes with consequences. And if you have sex with a dusty, there's always an opportunity for you to catch something you can't get rid of, or for you to get pregnant and become a single mom, period. And if you think you won't be a single mom with a dusty, you're sadly mistaken. These are the same men who, oh, children don't need money. They need just someone to be there. They need a father figure. Babe, you're not a father figure. if you're not providing. Children are expensive. I think some men are naturally conservative with their money. I think they should be to an extent. Okay, there's a difference between being conservative and being stingy. So, and I can't even say I agree with that. So the word conservative is just, it just reminds me of someone like holding on to something, right? Conservative to me is just another word for stingy. So for me, they just have to know how to manage money, right? Because I can honestly say in my relationships, I've managed the money better. So my man would give me the money to pay the bills. I'd get the bills paid. He was not conservative at all. I've been in several relationships like that where men, you know, they buy what they want. They do what they want. So when you have a wife, typically most wives are the ones who pay the bills, or, you know, if they have an accountant or whatever, CPA, they'll have someone handle that. But men, they're just not like as structurally built as we are. Like, they're logical, but women just tend to manage things better. What he eats doesn't make you poop. If he isn't sharing his money, doesn't matter. Big facts. And so, but yeah, when I hear like, you know, naturally conservative, it just depends. Like, yeah, he should definitely know how to manage money, which is why he's still wealthy. He's able to keep his money. But if you're conservative to the point I'm not getting my needs and want met, I don't want you. That's just that on that. Because I feel like if I have to go without anything, why am I with you? Why do I want you? I don't. Quite frankly, if I'm alone, so the way I treat myself, ladies, I put myself on a pedestal, okay? I eat well. I take good care of myself. I drink water. I take care of my skin. I wear makeup. I try to always have the finer things. Even when I go out of town, like, I want to stay in a really nice hotel. Like, my family, they will tell you, like, if a hotel is too cheap, I'm like, what's this? What's the star rating? What kind of amenities do they have? Let's go look at the Google reviews. Like, I don't play when it comes to myself. I believe that I deserve the best, so I'm going to give that to myself. So I don't even allow men, like, for myself, if I'm going out of town, I love the Marriott, right? If I'm dating someone who can't, at minimum, take me there, which is like $100-something a night, I'm not going. I'm not going, because you can't even do for me what I can do for myself. Any man that you're with, he's supposed to elevate you, take you to the next level. Hey, Miss H. Always a pleasure. Yes, ma'am, that's right. Absolutely. You know, and so I don't know. I'm a little bit different, you know, in some of my ways, my methods, but they work. And I can honestly tell you, like, I've had several friends who didn't think the way I did. They never have. They'll just look at a man, oh, he looked like he got money. Oh, he dresses nice. He looks this way. But I'm like, what is he doing for you? I knew a girl who was sleeping with this guy for about 2 going on 3 years. And she told him that she needed gas money. She told him that she needed gas money, and he gave her $20 and he wanted it back. He's like, oh, well, when can you give it back to me? I'm like, first of all, if I'm having sex with anyone, I'm never going to go without anything. It's just not going to happen. Looks can be deceiving. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing about that is there are a lot of dusties who look the part because they know women just fall head over heels by the way they look. And to be honest with you, like, I don't know, certain things are just unattractive to me now. Like, I don't even have the same style in men. Is it ever okay to directly tell a man he isn't doing enough? I would honestly, hey Jade and hey Swindle. That's so I would never do that. First of all, telling a man that he's not doing enough is very emasculating. But you can always hint around what you want. So do your research on how a feminine woman can get something out of a man. And if you haven't read the book already, it's called The Art of... what is it called? I was about to say The Art of Finesse. That's my book. That's about, if you want to read a book on how to get a sugar daddy, I wrote a book called The Art of Finesse. You guys, if you know what I'm talking about, please put it in the comments. The Art of Seduction. Yes, that's exactly what it's called. I had to get my sticky notes. The Art of Seduction. Absolutely. So get that book. They have an audio book, if I'm not mistaken, that's on Amazon. But if you're like an actual hard copy type of person, you need the physical book, definitely go on Amazon. They should have it there as well. But yeah, it's a good book. It really is. And it'll teach you everything that you need to know. But no, I would never do that. I feel like anything that would emasculate a man, I'm just not going to do. Like, you have to be very careful about what you say to them, because men are fragile. And to be completely honest, men are more fragile than women. But because women are more emotional than men, people try to make it seem as though women are more fragile. But we just outwardly express our emotions a little bit more than men do, which you shouldn't. And that's what my video earlier was about. So after this, definitely catch that on my IGTV, because you have to get your emotions in check. And what's crazy, when I started learning all of this stuff, like, I was smack dab in the middle of a relationship, about to start talking to someone else, and I had this old man that was like sending me money and stuff. And it's just like, I was accustomed to being one way, and then I just switched up abruptly. Like, I started looking different. I started reacting to things differently. And so that's some of the stuff that I talk about in that video, where men don't know what to do when you're not reacting emotionally. It forces them to grow up instead of like trying to get you in your feelings so that they can get what they want. Because men depend on women to be emotional so they can get what they want. It's just like if, let's say, your husband wants to go out, right? And you're like, okay, you've been out already this week. Like, why are you leaving the house again? You know, what do you think? You're 22. And you're arguing with him. And so he says something to piss you off, or he's like, oh, I feel smuggled. I feel like you're trying to box me in and blah, blah, blah. And you get all emotional and blow up and throw something at him, or you start cursing him out. You just gave him an excuse. So for me, instead of tripping about what this man is about to go do, okay, babe, can you please give me your credit card before you go? I saw this really cute dress that I wanted, and I just have to have it. It's going to look so good on me, and I know you'll like it. Bite your lip, you know, be seductive, touch him in a sweet spot, something that you know he likes. If he likes being kissed on his ear, kiss him on his ear, you know, get what you want before he goes. And every single time he leaves, or every single time he does something that you don't want him to do, get what you want. And this is why I'm like, you know, I don't condone cheating. I don't believe that you should just tolerate anything from a man. But honestly, babe, would you rather be cheated on by someone broke or someone with money? Because if you're cheated on by someone broke, you're not getting anything out of it. You're going to walk away with empty pockets and a broken heart. Okay? Men of means, you can make them pay. They can give you something. Buy you a car, get you a new ring, buy you a new wardrobe, invest in a new business. So that, honestly, by the time I leave any relationship, they've invested in my brand, helped me start a new one, bought me something new like a car. They've done something to where I'm better before they go. So I don't miss any relationship. I don't care. My needs were met. I feel good about the situation. It was just our time, babe. Period. Okay? But when you give too much of yourself as a woman, because we love hard, when you give too much of yourself, when you feel like you sacrifice, it's very difficult to let that person go. And that's why on this platform, I do not bash women. I don't bash them for being in love. I don't bash them for what they're going through in their relationship, because I understand why you're doing it. But what I try to help women understand is that holding on is not worth it. It's never worth it. Because it's not going to change that you wasted your time and that you're still wasting your time. The quicker you cut that off and move on, the better off you'll be. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Time is of the essence. Hey, Katie. Time is of the essence, and you don't have time to waste. Especially like most women that follow me, you're in your 20s. Like, listen, babe, we're in our prime. We look good. We can have who we want. Men are at our disposal. They're at our fingertips. So if you date hypergamously, you can stay beautiful. You can stay free. The reason why you see so many women in their late 30s and early 40s so bitter is because they spent 15, 20 years with a man, didn't get married, or did, had some children, and realized he was never going to change. Okay? They're bitter. They hate seeing you. Like, if you've ever had a job where older women work there, like something in fast food or something, they're jealous. Wow, this 17, 18, 19-year-old is working a job that I'm working at 31. That is embarrassing. They're embarrassed. They feel sick on the inside. We waste so much time and energy trying to make things work instead of accepting it for what it is. Yes. And I made another video this week about me being able to accept hints. A man doesn't have to tell me that he doesn't want me. I've never been that type. Once I see that the energy is off, that you're not giving me what I need, that you are uninterested, you're not taking me out, you're not investing in me, I don't want you. So I move on quick. And some people, it's like they don't want to take no L's. They feel like if I leave, I'm missing out. But no, you're damaging yourself. Is it bad to tell a man that you're too high maintenance for him? Or should I leave him or read until he can do more? When you say leave him, are you... Well, first off, no. Don't ever tell him that you're too high maintenance for him. He will see that on his own. Should I leave him? So when you say leave him, do you actually live with him? Because if you don't live with him, cut that man off and move on. If you live with him, save your money and move on. Save up first and then move on. But yeah, if you are not cohabitating, there's nothing tying you down. You don't have any children with him. You're not married to him. Don't waste your time. You never wait on a man to get himself together. He may never do it. This is the thing about being in a relationship with a Dusty. When men have comfort, which is a little bit of money, they're eating and they're getting consistent sex, that's all they need to be happy. So if you're sleeping with a man who is of a lower caliber, you are messing him up. If you want him to level up, you got to cut him off. He contacts me and I leave it on red. I would block him. Like, there's no reason for him to be in your phone, period, to be completely honest with you. Don't allow any man to waste your time. They are usually super simple. Yes, the men are simple. Let me tell you this. I've lived with 2 of my boyfriends. I'm never doing that again. Ever doing that again. Until you guys see a ring on this finger, never living with a guy again. But men are very simple. Like, I've lived with 2 men. They eat. They take a shower. They, wash their hair if they have hair. Because one of my exes, he had, like, really long locks. But they just groom themselves, eat, go to work. Like, they are very simple. They hang out, with their group of friends from time to time. They're simple. They're very simple. What they're attracted to is simple. They like beautiful women. They like feminine women, women who take care of themselves, women that respect themselves. So as long as you're putting yourself on a pedestal, taking care of you, having your own hobbies, like, don't be stuck up under them. Well, that's one of the things I can honestly say I didn't have to, like, inherit. Like, I've never been the type to just be stuck up under my boyfriend. I've just never been that type because I'm such a loner. Like, and when I say loner, I mean I can be in my house for days by myself. Like, when this quarantine first started, it was like, like, it is, but like, you're telling me I can't go. Okay, that's a little different, but it was nothing because this is what I do. Like, I be in here by myself. I be planning makeup, watching YouTube videos, taking notes, like, all types of stuff. I buy stuff like this. So this is my notebook, one of my notebooks, and it says you can. So I really like inspirational quotes like all over my room and all over my stationery. I love stuff like that, but I'm a very simple, lighthearted, and free person. So they don't get annoyed by me being around. Most of the time, the man is like, oh, why can't we go out? Why can't we do this? And I'm like, all right, let's go, babe. Let me know when you want to go, you know. I remember one time my ex, like, there was this married couple that he used to hang out with. He's known them since before they got married, and they had been married for years. And they always wanted to, like, invite us out to dinner and, you know, go to the bar and stuff together. So I'm like, okay, babe, I'll go. But most of the time he would go by himself. Like, why would I want to hang out with you and your friends? But because it was a married couple, it's like, okay, they do couple things all the time. So, you know, it was normal for them. But yeah, I've just never had that desire. Or like I'm in the room, in the bed by myself, just sort of taking notes, and they like, dang, you don't love me no more, you know, joking with me. But it's not that. I'm just content being by myself. So when people tell you, be comfortable by yourself, it's an asset. It really is. Can you talk about how to navigate during the early dating stages? I've been told to I expect too much, gifts, money, without giving them a chance and time. So I need a little bit more information in order to answer that. But what I think you're asking is what to expect in the early stages. So first of all, if men are telling you that you expect too much, they're probably not the right target. Men typically just give you things anyway. Like, men just give you gifts. They just, you know, they just do it. It's nothing that you have to think about or nothing that you have to ask for. So if you're asking for these things, that is a problem, you know. So I would give you the same recommendation as I gave the other queen, to definitely read The Art of Seduction and figure out how to get what you want without being so forward. But you don't really have to give a man time to do that. Either he has it or he doesn't. So I would give it a month tops. And this is with us consistently going out on dates. I started talking to a man recently, but it's so hard for us to meet up because of quarantine. How can I go about it? So quarantine does not stop a show. Like, I've screenshotted my Cashapp several times. And if a man wants you, he'll send you money. He will make sure, like, he buys you dinner and gets it sent to your house. So what you can do is hint around something. Like, I'd be like, oh my gosh, look at this. So like, there's a video that I found on Facebook a while ago, and it was like a quarantine date. So literally they were on FaceTime and they were having a conversation, and the man like sent dinner and some wine over. And so I can even say for like Valentine's Day, I was super busy. I couldn't go out. So the guy I was seeing, he cashed out me money so I could take myself out to lunch that day. And my food was good, okay? So that doesn't stop a show. If a man wants to court you, he'll be creative. He'll think outside of the box. And he'll be asking you like things that you need, you know? So tell him about the quarantine date. Just be like, I think that is so romantic that a man would put forth that much effort into that, you know, and send it to him. And, you know, I love romantic men. That is so dope. And then change the subject. You know, then change the subject. But make sure you send it to him so it can be in his phone, and see what he does. Like, just see how he moves. But literally, like, I'm telling you, men are simple. When you drop hints, they're going to be on it if they want you. Oh, and also, since you're in quarantine, like, don't text him and be on the phone with him and stuff too much. Keep your routine. You are so welcome. Is there a such thing as a man who prefers you ask rather than offer? Is this a red flag? Yes, there is a such thing as a man who prefers you to ask, but it's like, why? Like, tell him it makes you feel uncomfortable to ask for money, like, and see if he can just do like an automatic draft from his account to yours every month. You know, like, you know, it makes me feel really comfortable. And I read somewhere that sometimes people like break up and they have really difficult times in relationships because of money. And I just don't want that to happen with us. So I wanted to, send you this link. So maybe you could do like an automatic draft to my account, or would you be open to sending me a certain amount every month so I won't even have to ask, and I can feel secure, something like that. Like, you should not have to ask. You just shouldn't. Women always hint. We don't blatantly ask for anything. That's not a high value thing to do. And I can hint around some stuff, okay? What if you're only dating and you want gifts, but he says yes when you ask, but never offers? I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, if he's giving it to you, then what's the problem? If he doesn't offer, maybe he doesn't want to offer. Maybe he finds satisfaction in that. I mean, it's like whatever you are comfortable with, Katie. Whatever works for you. If you ask and he's giving it to you, then it is what it is. But I really don't ask for anything. I show what I want and then I get it. I don't understand that concept. No, I really don't. I'm not joking. All right. So, but yeah. Make sure you read The Art of Seduction. It's a good book. It'll teach you how to ask for things, how to hint around it so that you won't have to come out and ask. But if asking works for you in your situation, then do it. But just from what I know about high value men, they really don't like to be asked for anything. Y'all are funny. Please don't make me laugh. I don't want to laugh. Please save this. Thank you. Katie, I am going to put this on my YouTube channel. So I got you, babe. You are welcome. You shouldn't have to ask. If he's a provider, he will see what you need and offer that and more. Absolutely. Absolutely. My ex used to like I would show him something on my phone that I liked, and he would be like, let me see. And I show him, typically on Amazon, because I knew he had Amazon Prime. And the next weekend I would come over, he would have it. I'd be like, oh my God, I love this man. And he was extremely romantic. Like, he liked to cook and everything. So, And back to that clingy stuff, because this is reminding me of that relationship now. So I spent my weekends every single weekend with him, but he didn't really like going out and stuff because he literally drove for a living. So basically, one day I wanted to hang out with my friends, and I'm like, yeah, babe, we just want to go, have some wine, have dinner. And he's like, oh, well, why don't you just invite them here? And I'm like, to your house? Like, you want me to invite them here? And he's like, yeah. So I'll cook for them, and I'll serve you guys, it'll be a nice little girls' night. So obviously he's older, way older than us. And I invited my friends over. He cooked dinner, poured some wine. Both of my friends at the time were married. And so they were asking him for dating advice and stuff. And I thought it was cool, but it was wow, I made it a habit to come see this man every single weekend. I never gave him time to miss me. So now that I want to do my own thing on the weekend, I can't. He expects me to be here every weekend. So it's just like with men. When men first meet you, the reason why you have to hold out, don't have sex, is because they might show you a vibe that they can't keep up with. I was showing him something that I didn't want to keep up with because now I want to go do something else, and that was just an expectation. So we had ladies' night at my boyfriend's house. How weird is that? Challenger, so hello. And so, yeah, that's just not a good look. So just make sure that you don't do what I did, because I feel like me going there every weekend, I probably could have went 3 or 2 weekends out of the month, but I was doing too much. I was just seeing him way too much, and we were just having too much fun. And you don't want that. you need to just give him time to miss you, even if you guys don't live together. Like, absence makes the heart grow fonder. But when men start to get a schedule in their head, like, oh, okay, I'm gonna see my baby this weekend, I'm gonna see my girl this weekend, like, no. You want it to be sporadic. You don't want to have set times. Oh, Thursday is our day. That's like something you do if you are like in school or something and you really can't see him any other time. And even then, I still cancel dates every now and then because I'm just like that. I like being unpredictable. But yes, if you ladies have any more questions, please feel free to drop them. But other than that, I'm about to definitely save this, and I'm going to put it, hey Karina, I'm going to put this on my YouTube channel. If you don't follow me on YouTube, my YouTube is Tired the Group, literally Tired the Group. And I'm about to change my YouTube name soon, so I'll probably do it tonight because I want to change it to Hanging Out with Love so they can all be uniform. Even with a long-term relationship and marriage, you have to keep them guessing with your time. Yes, keep them guessing, switch up your routines, like switch up your look. They need to think they're married to like 5 different people. If you're seeing a man and he's inconsistent, do I cut him off without an explanation? Absolutely. He stops talking to you without explanation, doesn't he? I'd send his ass right up a river. Bye, Craig. Most definitely cut him off. That's the only way it'll sting. And once you cut him off, cut ties. Like, make it so you're unreachable. He can't email you. He can't write you on social media. He can't text you. He can't call. Cut him off. Completely off. Yeah, because that just means he doesn't want you. And it can be 2 things too. Either he doesn't want you or he wants you to chase him. And if he wants you to chase him, he's a dusty. So cut him off. All right. And I'll go ahead and spell out the YouTube name really fast. Oh, my hair, goodness. Tired the Group on YouTube. And I'll upload it right now for those of you who just got in. And thank you guys so much for joining. Ghosting is my favorite thing to do. You leave in peace. Oh, you're welcome, Karina. Leave in peace. Girl, I love ghosting. Girl, I've been ghosting since the 2000s, okay? Since before ghosting was a term. I am the cutoff queen. Do you hear me? Straight up. What made you call it the Tired Group? So Tired is an acronym, and it stands for taking initiative, ready to level up, eager to grow, and done with the BS. And that is my Facebook group. Bye, Trina. Y'all are so sweet. So yes, it's called Tired. Hey, Shannon. Shannon, I'm about to upload this live to my YouTube channel so you can watch it. All right. I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening. Thanks, Karina. Bye, y'all.